Hey folks, welcome in to another edition of the Midway Eagles Sports Show, a show about Midway Eagles Sports. I'm Clay Cunningham. That is Dylan Brown, the sports information extraordinaires.
I don't know
but here at Midway University, last week we can share some behind-the-scenes stuff. It was one of those stressful weeks. We pulled like a fun little still of me beforehand, like.
Mm-hmm.
I basically looked like
it was one of those, yeah.
Like the character Palmer from the movie The Thing, before the thing came out of his face.
Yeah,
it was
that's just a look that we're probably going to be giving at the end of this stretch run we have over the next 4 weekends.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a wild ride, as they would say.
But we got through it with a fairly modest but still productive week. We have a lot of sports that are on the cusp of starting. A lot of them, the fall sports are kind of the midway point, but we did have one that started the midway point. That's good.
The midway point.
But we had one team start this week. It was men's and women's swimming, and started quite well. I've got some boilerplate stuff here, but you, as I don't know if people know this, Dylan's the unofficial assistant coach for the men's and women's swim team.
I'm not the assistant swim coach.
Not against his will a bit, but it's
swim coach.
There's differing opinions, but you got some key words from the scene of 2 dominant Eagle wins to open the season.
Yeah, those were 2 thorough wins. A nice way to usher in the Jeff Armstrong era, I would say, to get 2 dominant wins like that. A total of 24 victories, I think individual victories. So as my phone goes off, some sort of weather alert. Hopefully we don't have any weather alerts. But,
I hope it was worth interrupting the show for.
It was, my apologies. But again, 2 dominant victories, some terrific performances, a handful picked up 2 victories each in their individual events. Midway also swept the 4 relays. So a terrific opening weekend for them, and a terrific opening weekend for Miss Sammy Friel, by the way. She was the Mid-South Conference Women's Swimmer of the Week, so congratulations to Sammy. Great job. Keep up the work.
Just the second Midway Eagle to ever win the award. Yes, but jumped out.
It's tough to win those awards in the Mid-South. Cumberland's, I know, is always really strong in getting those. They seem to always win a lot of those. So it's good to see our kids being able to get the spotlight shown on them and win those awards.
And when you win 22 of 23 events, that'll generally help your cause.
Yeah, I think so. It'll hurt and certainly help boost your cause.
Well, clearly that's all we have to say. We're swimming, right? Or do we? That's a record scratch. No, Dylan, this week you're going through Clay Cunningham's wonderfully waterlogged deep dive delights. I keep coming up with this alliteration.
Can you say that again?
Clay Cunningham's wonderfully waterlogged deep dive delights.
If you can record yourself in a video saying that 10 times fast, you might win a prize.
Dylan will give you $10,000 from his own personal.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, we will not.
I should have cleared that first. Okay,
we will not do that.
We'll think. Nobody took my DVD giveaway last week, so I thought maybe some cold hard cash. But that was unreal. I apologize. That was an unreasonable request. But
just a little.
This one, it's a little convoluted. Like, I tried to think of a way to streamline this question, but yes, the men on Saturday won by 83 points, 125-42. The women won by 134, 153 to 19. How many times in each program's history have both the men and women won by more than they did Saturday? Same amount both times. How many times has it happened? We got a very simple number system this week. 0, 1, 2, or 3. Has it happened 0 times, once, twice, or thrice?
Oh, man. I want to say it's either 0 or 1, A or B. I know we got a pretty dominant win last year, but I don't know if it was as dominant as it was Saturday. Mr. Cunningham, I am going to go with B1.
The streak Well, I guess it was last week, but I think you're going to start a whole new one here. You are right. Yes, it has happened one time for each team. The men, incidentally enough, did it against this same Pikeville program October 22nd of last year. I imagine that's probably what you were referencing.
Yep.
114-25, where the women on October 2nd, 2021 defeated Union 149-6. That is,
I would say that's pretty
somewhat
dominant.
decisive, but yes.
I was wondering what your question was going to be this week because I was sitting there thinking, no kidding, I was thinking, what's he going to go with?
I love that this is occupying your life.
It really does.
Like sweating in bed at night.
Like Tuesday, it hits me. It's like, okay, what question am I going to get from Clayton on the show?
Now I'm really going to feel like a jerk on the weeks I don't have anything. Yes, but you're back at it, and the swim team back at it at home this weekend.
That's right.
You'll be there.
I will be there. If you are in the Versailles area or if you're in any of the surrounding areas, come on out. We'd love to have your support. They're going to take on Shawnee State. Shawnee State's a very good club in and of themselves. So and then also Pikeville again. So kind of a little bit, I would say, a little bit of a step up maybe this week against a good Shawnee State team. Not discrediting Pikeville, but. Shawnee State's going to be a tough one, so we look forward to seeing that. 10 a.m. is when they'll get started. So,
and as assistant coach, I'm sure you're going to have the big pre-match speech to get everybody riled up.
No, I'm not one. I'm not that one. Not that type. So, but no, we certainly look forward to watching them compete this weekend.
All right, we're sticking ahead. We had another. Conference player of the week this year.
Right.
It's been kind of a common thing with women's soccer, but Haley Applegate is on what they call a tear.
She is in fuego.
These last couple weeks.
In fuego.
Followed up a 2-goal, one assist performance against Berea. God, that's
Madison's going to come for you again.
That's going to be the death day on October 1st. And then she followed up with a hat trick against IUPUC. On Saturday, the first Eagle to do it since Maggie Sauer on September 29th of last year. Not that long, but not that long an absence, I guess, but still nice. We were texting back and forth a little bit as we saw it took Midway finished with a 49-3 shot of it. It seemed like, and Coach Cheryl Smith basically kind of said it seemed like IUPUC was just kind of playing for the tie, and it took forever. I think it took 23 shots before we finally got one in the back of the net.
Yeah, it took 42 minutes. The 43rd minute, I guess, is when that technically was scored. But 3 unassisted goals by Applegate, the sophomore from Flemingsburg, Kentucky. So then leads her to being Conference Player of the Week. So. Certainly happy to see her rewarded for her performance in that as well.
Yep, she joins Evie Clare as Player of the Week, and then both of our goalies, Kaylee Thompson and Yasmin Shalash. Just a wave of misinformation here, but yes, the Eagles. They had a couple. We talked about them a lot. They had a couple losses, but they are back to 5-2, 2-2 in conference, and they travel to face Brescia in Owensboro, KY. On Thursday. That's as of the day we're recording this. That's tomorrow. I don't know when you're watching, but it's.
And don't forget, Brescia is on Central Time, so make sure you pay attention to that. You got the time zone line through the middle of Kentucky. It's if anyone can explain that one to me and Clayton.
Don't. I'm not interested. No matter what your explanation, it's annoying and.
We're not interested.
No. Let's go. We got a little we got going through a couple teams that. Kind of hit some rough patches, but got back on track with some wins last week. Volleyball, we were at their game last night. The one thing you definitely notice, you look on the sideline and you see a lot of people you saw on the court in street clothes.
Exactly.
But they're coming back. They swept Point Park on Saturday, and then they got back to 508-8 overall with a 21-16-17 sweep of Boyce last night. Really looked out of sorts to start that first match, but then closed on a 7-0 run and really kind of had it in a stranglehold.
Yeah, and whenever we went to Boyce, we lost that first set. Lost a tight first set. Kind of like what similar happened last night. Got herself into a little bit of a hole.
It was 12-5, I think, right?
Yeah, something like that. So, but unlike what happened at Boyce, we lost the first set at Boyce, but this time around we battled back in the set. I think you said in the recap a 7-0 run to end. I didn't even realize that until afterwards. But to see them get back to 500, they've now got back-to-back wins, especially a win over a Point Park team that you have to travel 6 hours to go to, and you got to get yourself up for that game.
Yeah.
So they were certainly up for that game and got that one. So now they're back to 8-8. I think they got two more. I think they're certainly winnable conference games later this week. So hopefully we can get back to full strength and get back to let's get this rolling and let's end the season on a high streak. But it's conference play from here on out. So you got to bring your A game every time you're out there.
Yeah, at a .397 hitting percentage, which was their best of the year, and they were 6-11 in the third set, which I believe is their second best set of the year. That's a lot of research.
That is a lot of research.
I kind of started, and I just was looking at it. I saw one that was higher. I was just like, let's just assume. That's what they always teach in journalism classes. You can always just present assumptions as facts. If you're an aspiring student, take every word I'm saying too hard.
Is that really what they say?
That's
that's a new one.
I haven't been in a classroom for a while, but to my recollection, yes, that is. I'm making an assumption that it's right.
Yeah,
it's all about confidence.
Yeah, and they only hit I think what was it 200 in that first set or something like that.
Yeah,
so to come back and raise it to hit almost 400 against them. Again, that's a solid boys team who's certainly been much improved over the years. That's certainly a team that we've seen here a couple times. So they're certainly much improved.
Yeah.
And they also got a couple kids that can light you up like they did in that first game earlier this year.
Yeah. And men's soccer, who's been a rough one, entered Saturday on an 8-game losing streak, but finally
that streak
broke through that, got their first River States win of the year, also against IUPUC. Kind of not to the same degree as the women, but they definitely had a 22-9 shot edge. Took a long time to get through, but you got second half goals from Arthur Menendez and Anwar Perry, and Connor Vincent got his first career win and first career shutout with 6 saves. Been a tough, prolonged stretch for the men's team, but finally got to spoil the homecoming.
The spoil of the homecoming. Yeah, no, that was certainly a good win for them. It was kind of similar to the women's game that they dominated really. They really dominated shot advantage. I can't remember what it was.
22-9.
22-9. So I mean, at halftime it's a 0-0 game, and you're like, oh, man. It's like, man, just get one, because the defense was really playing great. And talking to Coach Walls afterwards, he said they were great for that game. So it's certainly a chance for them to get on a roll here late in the season, I think. Got to make a playoff push. Now you're 1-4 in conference play. You got that first conference victory, so now's a chance to start building on that and start getting some wins. There's certainly some winnable games here down the stretch. Some of those that you're going to need to win if you want to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're also at Brescia on Thursday at, I don't know, probably 6:15 a.m.
the time zone. lovely time zones.
Oh, God. But Sprint football fell to 1-3. There's not the optimal way to start. The first 3 plays of that game, 32-yard kick return, 47-yard touchdown run, fumble on the ensuing kickoff. But we got stopped. We bounced back for second straight week. We scored on our opening possession, but sadly, second straight week that was our only score, and we fell to 1-3 with a 24-7 loss at Quincy.
Yeah, that one was a little bit disappointing, I think, especially whenever they had the ball in Quincy territory. It seemed like all day long they had it in Quincy territory, but they ended up going, I think, 1 for 7 or 1 for 9. On fourth down, so it's going to be tough to win games whenever you had that on fourth down. That's certainly tough, especially whenever they advanced it to Quincy territory. It seemed like every drive they were in Quincy territory.
Yeah.
So that one was certainly a tough one, but hopefully a chance for them to kind of right the ship here in the bye week, and then you in your first week after the bye, you get a Oakland City team who's certainly not quite up to the level of competition that you've seen so far in the league.
Lost all 4 of their games by at least 20 points. Yeah,
So
they're coming here.
Yeah, that's certainly. We'll discuss that one a little bit more, but next week. That one's gonna be one that certainly is a winnable game coming out of the bye week. But our McDonald's Sprint Football Player of the Game was Mr. Mike Anderson, who has certainly played himself into the starting role.
Yeah.
In the running back.
Over 100 yards from scrimmage on Saturday.
Yeah, like 113, I think, yards from scrimmage. So certainly a good outing from him, catching the ball out of the backfield and then taking handoffs as well from Keegan Hill. So certainly a chance to get some things right and work on some things here in the bye week.
Yeah, people maybe heard me coughing a little bit. That's just early onset homecoming fever for when
homecoming fever.
Yeah, that's coming up, but not this weekend. We got some time
next week, and we'll discuss that next week.
Yes, we will. And lastly, I tell you, I don't think there's a hotter team on this campus than eSports. Cumulatively, Overwatch, Rocket League, Call of Duty all have 9 consecutive wins, including last week. I apologize if I stumble through this. You'll see it's written in ink. This was they played at like 9:30 last. This is like the old newspaper, like the West Coast baseball games. It was late, but yes, they Overwatch upped that streak. 3-1 win over PTC Jackalope Watcher.
I've seen that on the website.
That's a cool name.
That is a cool name. I've seen that on the website. I was like, I don't know that I've ever seen it.
No, I'm happy we won, but can we play them all the time? PTC Jackalope Watcher. But we're not talking about them. We're talking about the nine straight wins by the 13-5 Eagles with League of Legends and Call of Duty, both playing tonight, Wednesday, October 11th.
11th.
Yes.
Our days run together.
Yes, they really do. But I think that's all we have for this week. Unless, Dylan, do you have any wisdom to impart?
No, it was a good. I woke up to this morning actually from an email from Coach Tinker who said that they won, and I seen when it came through, and it was like 11:15. I was like, I was in bed by then already. So a little bit of a late night volleyball last night, but jam-packed weekend. Make sure you're staying on top of your Midway Eagles Sports this weekend.
Plenty of opportunities. 4 games on Saturday?
4 games, I think. Men and women's swimming, volleyball.
And soccer.
Women's soccer's away at
that's Kokomo. Right. Okay. Even so, opportunities abound. Come out and see your Eagles.
Bowling in action this weekend?
Yes.
Bowling, that's right. I thought so.
It is definitely jam-packed. I'm going to, more facial deformation coming next week.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us on this
Good luck
latest
Eagles
edition
this weekend
of the Midway Eagles Sports Show. Catch 'em. Oh, goodbye.
Bye-bye.